Yeah, okay. So in the last class, we discussed about a sort, a toString, and equals, binary search, and a fill. Because these people, they are not familiar with the class arrays. After the completion of remaining all these methods, we are going to explain again about all these things. Okay, we'll discuss again. We'll recall everything. So because according to the information provided by the sir, they didn't cover this topic. Okay, these are all the simple topics. Class arrays in the sense, don't consider this class. Let me remove this one so that you will identify. So this is a arrays class, which is available inside util package inside java.util.arrays. So inside a util package, arrays is available. So packages are like a folders. So inside a util folder, we are having a class name called arrays. It consisting of so many methods. According to our syllabus, only these things we are going to discuss. Okay, let me just recall what are all the things yesterday we discussed. Sorting. So what is the use of a sort? Which is a predefined method to sort elements in an array. Okay, am I recording the session? Yep, yeah. Okay, toString is we are going to convert the values. Let me show you that one. I will explain all these things after the completion of these 4 remaining methods. Okay, let me start with the copy of. What is a copy of? Excuse me. So copy of a method is used for the specified arrays. So it is like truncating or padding with zeros. So the copy has the specified length. So you can't understand like this. If it is an example, then it is easy for us to understand. Copy in the sense nothing but if an array consisting of 2 or 3 elements like 1, 2, and 3. So another array came to the first array and asking, please give all the values to me. And I'm also having 2 more values. So we are going to increment the size of another array. We are going to increment the size of another array. If the length of a first array is, think like a 3, size is 3, because it consisting of 3 elements. But the new array is going to copy the size of an element, and we are going to increase the particular size like 5. So if it is 3, it is a 5, and then we can add some more elements to the second array. With the example, you will identify that easily. Let me share my screen. This is a vector. Let me take another class. What is the name for that? Copy of, right? Copy of. Okay. Okay. As usual, public static void main. So again, I'm saying how the class will identify a main method based on string arguments. Okay, see, now I'm going to take a initialize first array. This is the first array. This is the first array. Let me take as a int. So I'm going to consider integers only. This is first is equals to new int of, how to declare that? 1, 2, and 3. So what we required, if we are going to remove these values, it is essential to mention the size of an array while we are declaring, or else it throws an error. So that's why we are going to initialize the values. if we didn't initialize anything, we have to fix the size of a particular array. Okay, the name of an array is f, and the values inside this is integer. We'll call it as the array of integers. So 3 values are inserted. Now I'm going to take another array, second array. Okay, let me take it as s is equals to new int of. Here we are going to take f dot copy of, sorry, arrays dot copy of. So what we are going to copy? The first elements, and I want the size of a second array is 5. So got my point, new length. So see this, first array has been initialized with 3 elements, which we call it as the size of a first array is a 3. The size is 3. So the size is 3 of a first array. But here what we declared, please copy the values of the first array and then increase the length to 5. Increase the length to 5. And now I'm going to add s of 3. I think this is a 0, this is 1, and this is 2. That's why s of 3 is equal to, I will take as a 4. I'm inserting the values inside the second array. Please be concentrate. And the fourth element, which we call it as a fifth element, which is a 5. Okay, now I copied each and every element inside the first array, 1, 2, and 3, and I increased the size of an array second. So see this, when I place over this, what it will do, it is showing the values inside that, so that we will easily identify all these values are going to insert inside the second array, and the length of a second array is 5. Let me print the values of second array. For each loop, this is a for each loop. What is a for each loop? There should be a data type, and there should be a variable name a. There should be a semicolon, sorry, colon. And now I'm going to, what values we are going to pass? This one, the second array. Let me put s over here. Sorry. Okay. Now I'm going to print the values. Yeah. Okay. See this, again I'm going to explain. This is the initialization of a first array consisting of 3 elements, 1, 2, and 3. So that's why the size of an array is 3. Here I just declared second array, and I am copying all the values of a first array, and I'm going to increase the size of a second array as 5. And then I inserted 2 elements inside an array. Insertion. So insertion of 2 elements, because the size is 5, I'm having 3 elements. Excuse me. Sorry, some water. Okay. And I inserted 4 and 5. It is not required, but the size is 5. That's why I initialized 2 values inside third element and the fourth element, which we call it as a fourth and fifth element, because the size is 5, right? Let me run this program. See this. I think you got everything right, which is a simple one. Nothing else. What we are doing, just copying the elements inside the second array, and we can add some more space to it. Like we can take n number. We can take n number, what all the things we want. So directly, sir, if I want to mention the size of an array dynamically, yeah, you can do that. Like keep n over here, You can pass the values as dynamically. You can pass, like see this SCANNER, the scanner which is used for inputs. I is equals to new scanner of system.in, which is for the user inputs. This is for the user inputs. So now I can dynamically set the value of it. Let me declare it as, declare it as int, and here I'm going to take dot is equals to I dot next int, which is enough so that I can initialize over here dynamically. I can increase the size. So there is no need to worry about this. We can do in n number of ways. So if we know about the copy of method inside an arrays class, we can do whatever we want, okay, which is a very useful one, because every time we are not going to initialize the values for n number of, if there are 10 arrays inside one program, it is not good programming, like just every time you are going to initialize. You have to use the particular method to copy each and every element inside a first array. Okay, now we'll go for the next method. Okay, as list. This is the main method we'll use at the time of arrays. Arrays is a class and it consisting of as list, and there is one more method is there. I will tell you. As list, it should be like a wrapper class. So we should not use like vectors. Actually, we are going to discuss in vectors. Inside a vector, we will use a non-primitive data types. Like that, inside as list, we have to use some objects if necessary. So what is an as list? Please give the arrays to me. I will make it as a list. Got my point, right? So arrays consisting of, suppose there are 3 strings available, 3 elements available inside an array. We are going to consider that and we are going to print all those elements from that array as a list. That's why they mentioned this method as list. So we are going to consider each and every element inside an array, and then we are going to print them as list. List in the sense, you know that this is a list. So this is a list, sort, toString equals, binary search, all these are in the list form. So we are going to print all the values as a list order, which is in that sense, it should be inside a braces, and the values from the elements will be separated by comma. Comma, we will call it as a delimiter. So there is a name called for comma, pipe symbol, and so many symbols are there. At the time of arrays or Excel files or CSV files, we are going to call them as delimiters. Comma in the sense, it should be like an object. We are going to separate 2 string values. Let me share you the screen so that you will understand very easily. This is the one, right? Can't we take another one? Okay, I will make a comment this one. I don't want to delete this. So now I'm going to declare a class. Okay, we'll take it as a string, because the string consisting of every time. Why can't we take every time integer, right? We'll take a string right now. Cars. Okay, new string of, let me take 3, 4, Ferrari, and one more Benz. Okay. So I just declared an array as a string. What it consisting of? 3 elements, which tells about the company names of a car. Okay, what are the elements you can take? It's your wish. Now I'm going to convert them as a list. Let me 1 second. Where is my list? Okay. How to declare that list, which is a util package. Don't you think, sir, already arrays is inside an util package? And why you are going to take another package? Because if you are going to consider all the values of an array, if you are going to convert them to the list, it is essential to mention a list over here. List A is equal to, I will take it as a name, list, and is equal to, what are all the values over there? Cars as a list. Cars as a list in the sense we are going to consider the class name arrays dot as list. So inside as list, we need these cars. We are going to pass all those values over there. Let me take cars. Okay. So now what we set to the arrays class, please consider all these values, all these elements inside this array and convert all these to list. You're saying all these values to convert them to the list. That's why they named it as list. So if you want to know about this, see, as list returns a fixed size list backed by the specified array. Specified array means cars array. We are going to consider all those things. So why they mentioned a T over here? This is a wrapper class. Inside, I mean, in your final year, you are going to get this topic. So the first unit completely based on a wrapper classes, wrapper methods. So if required, I will explain, I mean, in necessary way. So this method acts as a bridge between array based and collection based. Collections in the sense arrays list, vectors, and as list. There are so many things are available inside the collections. We'll say vector as a collection. So to array, we are going to use that. To array in the sense we can convert from list to array, array to list. We can convert from that to this to that. So see this list string storages, what are all things, arrays dot as list, Larry, Mo, and Curly. They mentioned in this way, and they converted the values of an array directly over here. What we did, we declared an array over here, and then we passed. So according to them, they just directly passed all values. You won't get anything, just there is a braces. Inside that, all these values are separated by commas. Let me show you that. Copy. Directly we can print. Why should we need this? There is no iteration required for the list. Okay. List values are, list. Okay. So this is a simple one. So the methods each and everything available inside arrays class are very simple things. You just need to mention, if they ask to write about as list and the previous one fill, all these things, just take a simple example. But for each and every method, you have to give a separate example. Okay, let me run this program. See this. So what we mentioned over here, Ford, Ferrari, all these are the elements of a string array. All these are converted to list. How we are going to identify as a list? Excuse me, 1 second. My throat is not good. So in your Python, how you are going to find out a list like this only. So based on the braces, we are going to identify this as a list. So what is the list consisting of? It is, one second. Yeah, it is inside a braces, and all the values inside the braces are separated by delimiters like commas and some other spaces if required. Okay, I think you got a good idea about as list, right? Nothing but please the values what we are passing, convert them to the list itself. This is the main theme of as list method inside an arrays class. Okay, it is nothing but this. If we need to initialize a list or else it throws an error, it is essential to mention a list. So what is the use of a list? In order the collections we known as a sequence. Sequence in the sense it's an order. List is it's an order. Based on the user requirement, we are going to pass the values or the elements from the arrays, or directly we can write manually over here all these values. What we seen like this, we can directly mention like this. So this is also okay, and you can directly pass a cars object over here. So according to our syllabus, we are in arrays, right? That's why we just passed the arrays class over here. Arrays object, sorry. This is an object. Okay. Let me go with another one. Is that? So deep to string. Okay, yesterday's class we discussed about how to convert a string itself. Let me recall that one so that it will be useful for this. Okay. So what, how to convert, conversion. So conversion in the sense, if the value is an integer, I is equals to 6. If you want to convert it to the string value, what should you do? String x is equals to string dot value of I, sorry, I. So if you want to convert the value from integer to string, it is essential to call a class string, and it consisting of a method of value of. So we need to pass that value over here. Then it will be converted to a string value. If you want to convert it reversely, I think if you want to convert from string to, these conversions are very important. Every time I'm telling to you, at the time of calling an arrays from the cloud, it is essential to convert them. If the cloud consisting of a numbers, each and everything inside a cloud are stored as inside a database. Don't you think like a cloud is somewhat different? It is a database. If the database consisting of n number of elements and its data type is an integer, and you are going to convert them, I mean, when you are going to call all those values inside your program, it is essential to convert them into a strings or some other formats or a float. So conversion is a very important topic. So okay, now I'm going to take a value 8. So it throws an error. Why it is throwing an error? This is not a string, this is an integer. How this string is going to identify this is a string or not? So what all the things you mentioned inside a double quotes, they are considered as a string only. If you mention directly like 8, it will say that, sorry, this is not my value. If you want to assign a string value to me, it is essential to mention inside a double quote. Got my point? So that's why we need it as double quote value. Sorry, we need to mention it as a double quote value. How to convert it now? Int A is equals to. So I want to convert the string value x to a. How to convert that? Integer dot parseInt. So we are having a class. This is a class consisting of a parseInt method. What the parseInt method? Please convert what are all the values, some other data types to integer. Now I'm going to mention X over here, and the value is converted to integer. Got my point? So if you want to convert from string to this, from this to string, so which is a very important topic. There is so many things are available. Like if you want to convert float to parse float, there is a topic called method called parse float. And then you can convert directly. So because this is the integer, right? It is showing error. Okay. So if you want to convert into the float, then you have to use this method. And similarly for double, and so many data types are available for the primitive data types. So this is a conversion. So, but everything is like a parsing, but in the sense of a string, we have to mention the value of. This is different with these data types. Okay. Please remember this is a value of, all these are parses. We are passing the value of a string. Okay. Now we are going into the topic. Let me delete this. Yeah, why can't we can delete everything? Okay. Let me declare an array. No, I will copy that one. Wait a second. Where is that? Yeah, got it. Okay, let me directly paste over here. So just we took an object over here, which we call it as an object, array of objects. What is this an object? This is object called a non-primitive data type, like integer. So we can directly write an integer over here if required, but the values over here should not be a string. So we can take as an object. If you write everything, if it is an int, then we'll call it as a primitive. In the sense of integer, we'll call it as a non-primitive data type. Here we are going to take an object which is similar to the object which is similar to non-primitive object like integer, float. So many non-primitive objects are available, right? So in the similar way, we are having one more an object. The use of it is we are going to take complete object oriented. Like there should be a big program. Okay, I will explain it later. So this is, think like this is an integer. Think like this is an integer. So it consisting of, because while we are passing an object to the deep to string, it is essential to pass only an object. We should not pass primitive data types. It throws an error. That's why we considered it as an object, whether it is an integer or a float or a double. So it should be a non-primitive data type, should not be a primitive data type. Okay, there are some conditions with in some cases. That's why it is essential to mention in that way. We have to follow that rules, what they wrote. There is nothing else explaining about that. So the object consisting of these two elements like toots and point. Okay, these are so what is the initial array? We will print the initial values and then we'll find out the remaining thing. Let me run this program. Okay, see this. All these values has been printed because we used a for each loop to print the array values inside an object. This is an array of objects, right? Okay, let me remove this. So what it is doing, don't say like, sir, it is also printing like a list. Okay, it is nothing but deep to string, in the sense it considers what are all the values inside the string. Actually, we are having one more method like a toString. Sorry, toString, right? It is similar, but in some cases you will identify that we can't even know the difference in between this in small programs like this. When and where it will be useful, that was different compared to this. Don't say like, sir, toString and deep toString, they are giving the same output. They will give the same output, but in the sense of this program, they are giving the same output. But in the sense of some other programs, while we are working in a databases, it gives a good output. You can't even identify that. Just think like it is going to consider all the values inside an array deeply. They mentioned as a deeply. Only they are saying deeply in the sense they are going to consider each and every string inside an object. But here in this sense, see this is the same output you will get. See, you can't even identify that. You should know that. Just think like, what happened? Deep to string, let me, okay. Deep to string in the sense of this method is, please consider all the values inside an array as deeply. They mentioned in that way, like deeply in this, you are going to, you can't even identify the difference in between toString method as well as deep toString. Let me show you the information what they provided. See this. This returns a string representation of a deep content. See, even he also mentioned the same way. Deep contents and the contents. What is the difference in between that? We can't even identify that. Maximum nothing but they are going to print the contents, what are all the elements available inside an array. This is a specified array. What is it? If the array contains other arrays as element, the string representation contains their contents and so on. Completely they are saying like what are all the values inside an element they are going to print. And they mentioned like the string representation consists of list of array elements enclosed in the square brackets. So which is similar to the list. So what the list consisting of, there is a square brackets and they are separated by the comma delimited operator. The elements are converted to string as value of. So unless they are themselves an array, it is nothing but the elements are converted to strings. So each and every object elements inside this are converted to strings, individual strings. So when you are going to call the values, if you are going to assign this to some other array or a string value, each and everything inside that an array will be considered as a strings only. If an element E is an array of a primitive data type, it is converted to string as by invoking the appropriate overloading concept. So here they are saying like, if we are going to consider an element inside this object, which is a primitive data type, will be converted to a string value. Initially what we discussed, which should be like an object like non-primitive data type. If we mention it as a primitive data type and they are considered as a strings only, they can't even say that this is not an integer value. This is not an integer value. Okay, excuse me, I'm having a call. Yeah. So if non-primitive data, What is this? Yeah, here we are. So if we are going to consider a primitive data type array of elements, they are converted to strings based on deep to string. And again, you can ask like, sir, if we use a two string also, the similar thing will happen. Yeah, similar thing will happen. But we are going to consider everything as a deep this. See this, return the string representation of a contents of a specified array. If the array contains other arrays as elements, which is a similar meaning we are getting inside a deep to string array, what they said, sorry, it is a deep content. They mentioned it in the double quotes. So it's your own way to represent it if required. Just after completion of this unit, I'm going to provide the material to. So I'm preparing for the second unit. Second unit material also almost completed. Maybe tomorrow I'm going to share with you. Okay. These two things are same. There is no difference in between two string and deep two string. It is nothing but what are all the elements inside an array, they're going to convert as a individual string values. Okay. Okay. And we'll go for another one. Yeah, hash code. This is a very easy for us. Hash code in the sense, this is a unique number where the objects are stored. Based on this hash code only, you are going to store an object. Okay, let me show you that. So inside a JVM, you people are going to store an object, not you. When you created an object inside a class, all these are organized by the JVM based on their memory. How, where it will be stored inside a heap area. How they are going to find out a particular object based on the hash code. Let me show you that. They will give a good idea about this. Okay, already this is an object, right? Why should we go for that? Let me delete this one. Rs dot hash code. What is it? OB. See this. Very easy. All these methods are rs class is a very easy and even somewhat a bit complicated with vector class. So both are same. Arrays and vectors are both are same, but in the sense of size only they will vary it. There the size will be automatically changed according to our inputs. Here itself we have to give a particular size. That is the main difference in between that. Let it be. Just I'm checking. So I created an object over here, whether it is a class or a non-primitive data type, because Java is a purely object-oriented programming. Each and every object organized by the JVM, and each and every object will be stored inside hash area, which is available inside Java virtual machine. So how we are going to identify an object? Because there are 100 objects are available. How you will identify that? Based on a unique code. We'll call it as a hash code. Based on this, we are getting a number. Let me show you that. Which is a unique number. So each and every object is having a different unique number, which is managed by the Java virtual machine. So if there are so many objects are available inside a Java, inside our class. So how we are going to identify that? Based on the hash code only. All these are organized at a stack level. After the heap area, we are going to store each and every hash value inside a stack. And after that, based on the linking and loading, they are going to PC register or there, sorry, PC registers. So they are their organization based on these stacks, and the stored information over there will be retrieved based on the hash code value. Okay. I think there is no need to discuss anything about this. Just it is a unique code to find out which object you are going to access at the time of runtime. Okay, because compilation time it is not required. At the runtime only, after the compilation only, Java is going to consider that bytecodes and arrange a memory for all these objects and the classes and the methods. Okay, don't you think like compiler is inside a Java virtual machine? It is outside Java virtual machine. After the compilation only, the bytecodes will come. These bytecodes are organized by the Java virtual machine. Towards a final class object will be available, which is understandable to the machine. Machine understands a dot class file. After compiling this program, a dot class file will be occurred. See, all these are a class files. Let me show you that. I think you people are familiar on that. So these are all the class files we are writing, programming. This is our understandable language. This is not our understandable language. These are different. Let me click this one. Where is that? So copy of, right? Yeah. So it is not accepting. Okay, let me show you that. So they are showing a decompiled class. Already this is a class file. According to this tool, it is completely converting into according to our information point of view, because this is a console. See, they maintain this. When we created a class over here, automatically the Java creates a constructor. This is called a default constructor. Please make sure that know all these things. This is a default constructor. While we are doing a program, where is this one? This is our class. This is a class CLASS. This is a Java. We can't even read this program. Here, our information point of view, the decompiler is decompiled and showing this one only, but it is not visible. We can't read it, which is an understandable language to the machine only. Okay, I think we covered everything today, but these people, okay, for the section 2 people, I think you got what all the things I explained right now. Okay, if you have any doubt, you can ask me at any time. Okay, okay, yeah, it's been 10:20. Okay, we'll meet you later. Okay, good day. You may leave the class.